Question 601. What is the primary purpose of a DOS, denial of service, attack? A. Code injection. B. Resource exhaustion. C. Malware infection. D. Privilege escalation. Correct answer. B. Resource exhaustion. The main goal of a denial of service attack is to make a network or service unavailable to its intended users by overwhelming it with a flood of illegitimate requests. This exhausts the system's resources such as bandwidth, CPU, or memory, causing it to slow down or crash, thereby denying legitimate users access to the service. Question 602. Which type of access attack involves continuously monitoring network traffic? A. Snooping. B. Passive interception. C. Eavesdropping. D. Active interception. Correct answer. C. Eavesdropping. Eavesdropping is a type of access attack where network traffic is monitored continuously to collect sensitive information like passwords or other confidential data. In contrast to active interception, which modifies or injects data into the communication, eavesdropping is a passive process that does not disrupt the flow of traffic. Question 603. What term is used to describe a 99.999% availability rate? A. 5 nines. B. Real time. C. Failover. D. Surge time. Correct answer. A. 5 nines. 5 nines is a term used to describe a 99.999% availability rate, ensuring that a system experiences minimal downtime, typically less than 5.26 minutes per year. This makes it a key reliability benchmark for mission-critical services such as cloud computing and telecommunications. Question 604. Which concept refers to a list of all a company's risks, including details on the risk's rating, its handling, remediation status, and who is responsible for managing it? A. DSS. B. Risk Register. C. Risk Table. D. SSAE. Correct answer? B. Risk Register. Risk Register is a concept that refers to a list of all a company's risks by documenting details such as risk rating, handling, remediation status, and responsible parties. It helps organizations manage risks effectively by providing a structured approach to tracking, assessing, and mitigating potential threats. Question 605. Which type of policy outlines guidelines and expectations for upgrades, monitoring, backups, and audits? A. Administrative. B. Usage. C. User management. D. Security. Correct answer. A. Administrative. An administrative policy provides guidelines and expectations for tasks such as upgrades, system monitoring, regular backups, and audits. These policies ensure that organizational processes and resources are efficiently managed, reducing risks and maintaining consistent operations. Question 606. Mark wants to restrict access to the FTP server so only authorized users can connect. What should he do? A. Allow blind authentication. B. Redirect FTP to a different port. C. Change the FATP port. D. Disable anonymous login. Correct answer. D. Disable anonymous login. Disabling anonymous login on an FTP server ensures that only authorized users with valid credentials can connect, preventing unauthorized access. This enhances security by requiring authentication, reducing the risk of data breaches and unauthorized file transfers. Question 607. Which authentication protocol uses certificates that contain the rights and access privileges of the bearer as part of its payload? A. CHAP, B. PA, Kerberos, D. Security token. Correct answer. D. Security token. Security token is the authentication protocol that uses certificates containing the rights and access privileges of the bearer as part of its payload. These tokens ensure that the bearer has specific rights and access levels, which can be verified during the authentication process to grant appropriate access to resources. Question 608. What term refers to encryption that allows computations to be performed on encrypted data, and the results will be identical to those obtained if the same operations were carried out on the original unencrypted data? A. Homomorphic encryption. B. Identity-preserving encryption. C. Replicable encryption. D. None of the above. Correct answer A. Homomorphic encryption. Homomorphic encryption is a fascinating cryptographic technique that enables computations on encrypted data without needing to decrypt it first. The results of these computations remain encrypted, but can be decrypted to reveal the same outcome as if the operations had been performed on the original unencrypted data. Question 609. Jack, a security administrator for a large company, is concerned about the potential for malware from various websites users visit. What would be the most effective approach to reduce this risk? A. Blacklist known infected sites. B. Implement host-based antivirus. C. Set browsers to allow only signed components. D. Set browsers to block all active content, ActiveX, JavaScript, etc. Correct answer. D. Set browsers to block all active content, ActiveX, JavaScript, etc. Setting browsers to allow only signed components ensures that only trusted, verified software components such as ActiveX controls, JavaScript, or plugins are allowed to run on the browser. By only permitting signed components, you can mitigate the risk of malicious code being executed on the system, as unsigned components are often used by attackers to distribute malware. Question 610. Why would files' hashes be published? A. To validate the integrity of the files. B. To verify if the software was digitally signed. C. To use the hash as a software activation key. D. To use the hash as a decryption passphrase. Correct answer. A. To validate the integrity of the files. Publishing files' hashes allows users to verify the integrity of the files by comparing the published hash with the hash calculated from the downloaded file. If the hashes match, it confirms that the file has not been tampered with or corrupted during download. This is an important security measure to ensure that files remain authentic and have not been altered maliciously. Question 611. Alika is considering using an infrastructure as a service, IaaS, cloud provider to host her organization's web application, database, and web servers. Which of the following is not a reason she would choose to deploy to a cloud service? A. Direct control of underlying hardware. B. Reliability of underlying storage. C. Replication to multiple geographic zones. D. Support for high availability. Correct answer. A. Direct control of underlying hardware. In an IaaS model, the cloud provider manages the underlying hardware, and the customer typically has limited control over it. IaaS provides virtualized infrastructure, such as virtual machines, storage, and networks, but users do not have direct access or control over the physical hardware. Question 612. What prevents a pattern in cipher block chaining mode by taking the value of one block and adding it to the next block value within the algorithm? A. Cipher feedback mode. B. Cipher block chaining. C. Counter mode. D. Output feedback mode. Correct answer. B. Cipher block chaining. Cipher block chaining mode prevents patterns in encrypted data by combining XORing each plaintext block with the previous ciphertext block before encryption. This ensures that even if the same plaintext block is repeated, the ciphertext will be different due to the influence of the preceding block's ciphertext. Question 613. What measures help prevent dictionary password attacks? A. Account lockout threshold. B. Enforce password history. C. Password complexity requirements. D. Password hints. Correct answer. C. Password complexity requirements. Password complexity requirements, such as requiring a mix of upper and lower case letters, numbers, and special characters, help prevent dictionary password attacks. These attacks rely on using common words or predictable patterns to guess passwords. By enforcing complexity rules, the password is less likely to be found in a dictionary or commonly used password list, making the attack much harder to succeed. Question 614. During which type of attack does an unauthorized individual try to gain access to your resources? A. Access. B. Modification and repudiation. C. Denial of service. D. Interception. Correct answer. A. Access. An access attack involves an unauthorized individual attempting to gain access to your resources, such as systems, networks, or data, with the intent to exploit them for malicious purposes. This type of attack can involve methods like brute force, credential theft, or exploiting vulnerabilities to bypass authentication and authorization controls. Question 615. In which of the mobile device deployment models, employees can use corporate-owned devices both for work-related tasks and personal use? A. BYOD, B. COPE, C. VDI, D. CYOD. Correct answer. C. OPE. COPE, corporate-owned, personally enabled, is a mobile device deployment model where employees are provided with corporate-owned devices that they can use for both work-related tasks and personal use. In this model, the organization maintains ownership and control over the device, but employees have the flexibility to use the device for personal activities as well. Question 616. Which type of user account violates the principle of non-repudiation? Question 616. Which type of user account violates the principle of non-repudiation? Correct answer. B. Shared account. Non-repudiation guarantees that an action or transaction cannot be denied by the individual who carried it out. With a shared account, Since multiple users have access to the same credentials, it becomes impossible to clearly identify who performed a particular action, thereby violating the principle of non-repudiation. Question 617. Which type of server is used to gather diagnostic and monitoring information from networked devices? A. Proxy server, B. UC server, C. syslog server, D. ICS server. Correct answer, C. Syslog server. A syslog server is utilized to gather, store, and manage log data from network devices like routers, switches, firewalls, and servers. It is mainly employed for diagnostic, monitoring, and troubleshooting tasks. The server collects log data that offers valuable information about the operation and status of network devices, assisting administrators in identifying problems and evaluating system performance. Question 618. Which of the following refers to the use of an interactive process to exploit and gain access to restricted areas? A. Persistence, B. Buffer overflow, C. Privilege escalation, D. Farming. Correct answer, C. Privilege escalation. Privilege escalation refers to the process of exploiting vulnerabilities or misconfigurations to gain higher levels of access or privileges than what a user is originally granted. It is typically used to move from a restricted user account to one with administrative or root privileges, often through an interactive process like exploiting bugs or weak configurations. Question 619. A company wishes to streamline its certificate management process. The company has a single domain with multiple subdomains, all publicly accessible on the Internet. Which type of certificate would best suit their needs? A. Subject alternative name, B. Wildcard, C. Self-signed, D. Domain validation. Correct answer, B. Wildcard. Wildcard certificate is an SSL/TLS certificate that secures a single domain and all its subdomains by using a wildcard character star. It simplifies certificate management by allowing multiple subdomains to be protected under one certificate. Wildcard certificates are ideal for companies with multiple publicly accessible subdomains, reducing administrative complexity and enhancing security efficiency. Question 620. From a physical security standpoint, what is the equivalent of a VLAN? A. Firewall, B. Partitioning, C. Perimeter security, D. Security zones. Correct answer, B. Partitioning. Partitioning is a physical security practice that involves dividing a space into separate areas, each with specific access controls. This mirrors the function of a VLAN, which segments network traffic into isolated broadcast domains. Just as partitioning in a physical building helps to secure different areas and control access, VLANs ensure that only authorized users or devices can access specific network segments.
Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful for you, don't forget to like, drop a comment, and subscribe for more practice questions and tips.